song, pretty lady. Born to be angry, grip of the vice, click on the trigger, girl. Sip hard on ice, it's about time. Best to the right, you better know. My heart's your, go baby go. It's about time. I'm on a tightrope. Don't go. It's about time. It's about. All the years of paradise, paradigms paralyze us. You're crazy. All the cards you organize, shuffle twice in front of my eyes. Everybody needs what's so cold, girl. Lights, love, go, baby, go. It's about time. I'm on a tightrope. Don't go. It's about time. It's about.
Welcome to Australia. It is the first of a few visits that we will be making to the continent during this season. And this is a track that unfortunately is lost to time, no longer exists in real life. But today at Oran Park, we are about to get two 25-minute sprint races. And this is what we're looking at. A solo qualifying session, no pit stops expected, no rain expected. Race 2, we'll see a 13-car invert. And then from there, we will go racing. Now, when it comes to the grid, we have a little bit of a shakeup today. And here is that starting grid. At the top, it is Logan McKenzie with a 10th.5 advantage over Matthew Mayer, Ian Bertolucci, and Dan McFarlane. Sim Racing Grid gets all three of their cars into the top 4, but none of them able to take that top spot. Michael Polasek not living up to his name this week. He qualifies 5th. Mike D'Almeida 6th. 2, Schenk, Acatella, and Leibold round out that top 10. Hendricks, Mitchell, McDonald, DeJay, and Zepka, that's the top 15. And you see there in 13th, there's your Delta pole sitter, Chris McDonald, 6/10 off. And then DeJay not too far off of him. And then Dave Thomas, 3rd place to start this race. And then you have Saab, Long, Daniels, Bowman, Murray, Namayak, and Lobner. Darnell is down there. Al Rijla, Lynn, Spencer Clark in 27th. Kyle Trost is 28th. Rakowski and Gilbert round out the top 30. And then we keep going. Yes, we are cramming 36 cars onto Oran Park. Rickmeyer, Meeperson, Thomas, Clavijo, Dixon, and Barber round out the field. Meeperson and Dixon making their first career Alpha Touring Challenge starts. So let's see what they can do in today's race. That does it for the grid. We are about ready to go green here. We are just waiting for McKenzie to lead us off here at Oran Park. And it looks like we should be finishing the gridding soon. 36 cars, 2 25-minute races. It's going to be a lot of action. Everyone's going to be trying their best to just keep it on track through that dicey turn 1, turn 2 complex. They're revving up. And they are away, and McKenzie gets a good enough start, pulls ahead of Matthew Mayer in preparation for turn 1. And everyone goes barreling down to the first turn. There's 2 wide, there's 3 wide. McKenzie having to stay on the inside to defend. The SRG cars on the inside, and Michael Polasek, he gets into the dirt on the outside. He keeps it on the track, and there is carnage in the back. We have some accordion effect there. I saw a lot of stacking up. You see Dave Thomas, Zachary Bowman, Tyler Long, JB DeJay all there. Up ahead, Francois Schink and Raymond 2 side by side. And 2's going to eke ahead of Schink here, staying ahead. Logan McKenzie still leads the field on this first lap around Oran Park. And Mayer is in close pursuit. McFarland losing out to Michael Polasek there. Now, this track is so old, you may notice we actually have a phenomenon going on with the trees. They've all got a beautiful square halo of light kind of backing them. So I hope you appreciate the glowing tree sprites from today. Oh, both of them get wide. McFarland and Raymond 2 are into the outside wall. McFarland hard into it. He elects to pit. Raymond 2 will stay out and elects to try and just survive. Cuts in between the 2 Yellow Flag Motorsports drivers, Mike D'Almeida and Connor Acatella. He gets loose. Is he going to hit somebody? Oh, into his teammate. Raymond 2 collected, and the Delta leader, Chris McDonald. The first time we mentioned him today, and it's because he's clattering into Connor Acatella. And now this entire group is incredibly packed together. You see, there go the 4 race leaders up top. Here is the entire Delta class having to make their way through here. 2 wide, almost 3 wide. Cars trying to not give up too many positions here. Look at this, Fuad Rizla running just behind Corey Lobner. It's Evan Clavijo behind Gilbert behind them. Here's Spencer Clark running around the outside of Kyle Trost, and he gets that done for 20th position. Zachary Liebold is off track. John Daniels, Dave Thomas, and Matthew Zepka. Matthew Zepka will not go through, but the others have. And now Chris McDonald uses that as an advantage. He takes the momentum and goes right past Matthew Zepka on the right side. Oh, but Zepka puts a toe into the grass, and look behind, someone else has done it. I think that's Gilbert. And that is catching people out today, and it's shuffling people as we go down to turn 1. Corey Lobner on the inside of Mark Darnell. And we now have the timing screen working. Look at that. Oh, and Mark Darnell getting a little loose. Zepka getting a little loose. And more carnage up front. Darnell can't get it under control. I think that's Trost that goes a little wide there. I can't even keep track of who's fighting for what position here. Now it is Trost and Rakowski in the front of this group. Clark, Darnell, Lynn, and Zepka. The lead, the Alpha drivers have calmed down a little bit, but this group has been driving like maniacs. And now we can get a look at the... Oh, we're just about to check into the battle for the Delta podium, and we see Brian Saab and Tyler Long coming together. Long kicked back to 17th, 18th, 19th overall. Goes from 3rd to 9th in the Delta class. And I think Rakowski is going to have a look as well. And out of the final corner, Kyle Trost is also going to have a run. I think Long managed to gather it up on exit of the corner. We look to Dave Thomas, battling with his championship rival, John Daniels, side by side to turn 1 as they pass the stricken car of Mike D'Almeida, who I think was a lap down anyway, and letting people by. But here's Raymond 2. This is a battle for position with Dave Thomas. And more contact between the teammates. Saab and Thomas come together, and now Thomas rejoins behind his championship rival, and just like that, Chris McDonald is back on the Delta podium, but he's side by side with Saab for it. And Daniels is looking on at this, just hoping he can A, find a way through, and B, not get involved in the carnage that continues to happen here at Oran Park. It's tough to overtake here. Everyone's just looking for a way through. Back to Kyle Trost and Matt Zepka. Zepka going around the outside. He gets it done. Rakowski's not going to be able to follow through. Or maybe she will. Look at this. and into the chicane, fully alongside, and Darnell will not be following. So McDonald leads this group and sits on the Delta podium right now. But the Delta leader, after all that, JB DeJay, he and Kyle Murray are very close in this scrap for the lead now. And they've got a big advantage over all their Delta drivers as Corey Lobner, oh, that is Matt Zepka in the background. No, not Matt Zepka. It's Spencer Clark. And that car is done. So we saw Lobner go off, and then Clark went flying off behind him. And now Lobner under some pressure from Al Rijla there. We go back to the battle for the overall lead of the race. McKenzie still leads. Matthew Mayer is now 1 second off him. He's under threat of losing touch with the leader. And then he'll have Bertolucci and Polasek behind. Polasek still stuck back there in 4th position right now. This 25-minute race currently has 19 minutes to go. Raymond 2, oh no, he's not in. I'm getting some pit in notifications because of the nature of that pit entry. But looking at this group behind, there's the 2 Delta leaders, and then there is the battle for 3rd. That's McDonald, Saab, Daniels, and Thomas. And once again, the leaders of the Delta class in the championship not having the cleanest of days. Neither of them qualified amazingly well, but Daniels is up 4 positions. Thomas has had some issues. He went up and then fell back down, came together with his teammate. Evan Clavijo running behind him. He's up 17 spots as I see Lobner getting together with Al Rijla in the background, and Matt Zepka is one lucky son of a gun. I would love to see that from his point of view because he barely missed getting clipped by Lobner, who rejoins behind Lewis Gilbert and Mitchell Rickmeyer, who have been scrapping for 13th and 14th in the class. And there's Micah Hendricks and Francois Schenck running 5th and 6th. They're kind of running on their own right now, not able to keep up the leaders, but far and away ahead of everyone else. Hendricks going a little wide there. McKenzie's lead is narrowing. We'll keep an eye on that. But 8 tenths back to Mayer right now, and Polasek is still stuck behind the 51 of Bertolucci, who is looking, I believe, looking for his first podium of the season. We'll get our statisticians on that, but I'm fairly certain that he is without a podium so far. And in fact, he's had a bit of a struggle this season, so it's good to see him up there running near the top of the field. Let's jump back to Matthew Zepka. He's very close to Fuad Al Rijla. And this would be another position for the driver who had some issues early on and is now climbing his way slowly but surely back up the field. And Bertolucci, I can confirm, does not have a podium yet this season. 2 top 5s, though. And we have another call off track. I think that was Dave Thomas that went off. It says he was off for 2.5 seconds, and he's behind Evan Clavijo now. So that costs him a position, puts him a little further back from John Daniels. And now we have Ian Bertolucci and Michael Polasek side by side for this podium spot. And Polasek may inch out the 51 here. It's going to be tough for Bertolucci to stay in this as they sweep around this right-hander, but he's done it. He's keeping the championship leader on his toes, and now I think he has to give it up. So Polasek goes through. Bertolucci's teammate, Matthew Mayer, continues to chop down the gap towards the leader, and McKenzie, he doesn't have a win yet on this season. Matthew Mayer looking for his second win of the of ATC15. And now I have to check back in on this Delta lead group. They're in an interesting situation. Sandwiched in by Alpha drivers. You have Zachary Bowman leading the group. Raymond 2 just behind in 11th. And heading down to turn 1, none of them all that close to each other. And we look back to this group, and this is where I think Dave Thomas You know, earlier this season, he had a pretty decent lead in the Delta Championship. He was turning in those consistent performances. Now he's starting to run into some trouble. Let's see if he can recover this before the end of the day. And I see Matt Zepka. Oh, no! And he goes off the same way Spencer Clark did earlier. So it ended up being Zepka anyway. Clavijo going wide here, trying to stay ahead of Dave Thomas. And Thomas does stay right there. And now we have Rickmeyer going wide for similar reasons. And behind, Corey Lobner gets done by Dan McFarland, who is making his recovery up the field. Currently in 26th overall, the SRG Honda. Unfortunately, started all the way up in 3rd place. Chris McDonald, he's still carrying that damage, still trying to hold on to the Delta podium, but he has championship hopeful John Daniels breathing down his neck. For Daniels, he's already ahead of Thomas. However, you can no longer say that he's in a position to beat all of his championship rivals. I think you can argue that JB DeJay is entering the conversation for a championship contender as he has to go defensive on Kyle Murray. That stacks Raymond 2 up, and Zachary Liebold has pulled up to the back of that group now as well. Corey Lobner went wide at turn 1 again, and now Marcel Thomas trying to get involved. He's up 4 spots since the start. That drops Corey Lobner behind Jared Dixon, making his first start in the series. He's not that far off of that group of Gilbert and Darnell, Rickmeyer, and now Evan Clavijo. Where is this? That's the corner before the last chicane. So he's probably put a foot on the just off the right side of the track in the braking zone, and he got kicked all the way wide. McDonald is having to go defensive here. And they come down to turn 1. Daniels decides to back out of it early, but McDonald has gone wide, and can he keep it on the pavement? No, he can't, and it's not going to stay out of the wall either. And he is out. Dave Thomas goes wide at that same moment, and he is going to, I'm not sure if he lost any positions from that, but Kyle Murray is also wide and out. He's parked up on the side of the track, and that leaves DeJay with a 3-second lead over John Daniels, and there is Daniels coming over the crest. He's got Saab long, and now Dave Thomas close behind. So Thomas also not out of this one yet points-wise. He is right on the back of this group. Daniels is very much in his sights. Now for Logan McKenzie, Mayer has closed this gap completely. 0.3 of a second now, and he is really knocking on the door of the Pennzoil Super Touring driver. Has a moment's look there, but thinks better of it. And back here, we have Jared Dixon has caught up to the back of Dan McFarland and Lewis Gilbert as they try to scrap for position, and Dixon keeping it off track and then on track, manages to avoid any sort of carnage. And maybe a bit unhappy with how that one transpired, but McFarland is going to go for the move on Lewis Gilbert now. This is for 23rd in the field. And into turn 1, it is going to be an easy overtake for the 23. Oh, and the 57 getting into a bit of a slide. I think he will. Ooh, Dixon's going to have a look up the right side of Gilbert, but he can't stay in there. So we jump up to Dave Thomas under pressure from Evan Clavijo and Tyler Long. However, that's because there's been some position swapping. Long didn't used to be there, and Mike Diomita dropped behind them all as well, but he's a lap down. So Thomas moving up to 4th. McKenzie's gap over Mayer is currently 0.7, so he did a better job on that last lap of opening the gap, or maybe Mayer made a bit of an error. So these are the tight battles on track. And John Daniels, he is faster than JB DeJay right now. Not by a whole lot. Maybe a tenth and a half. And what's going to happen there is he's just going to run out of time if that's the case, because it's a 2.5 second gap. 10 minutes left. I don't think coming in at even 2/10 a lap is going to help out. It would put him close. It would put him within a second. But I'm not sure he's going to get a real chance. There's Clavijo and Thomas. Clavijo, a couple seasons ago, was a very solid threat for the Delta title. He's had a bit of bad luck this season. But right now, showing pace, keeping up with Dave Thomas as he tries to climb back up the field. Raymond 2 and Zachary Bowman very close to each other. Zachary Liebold still stuck behind these two. But they did all get around those Delta drivers. So they are free to race with no traffic ahead. McKenzie, his lead has been fluctuating up and down, but I haven't seen Mayer get a real shot at him yet. And he's got 9 more minutes to hold on. These laps are just over a minute, so that's another 7 or 8 laps for the 04. Bouncing back to Kyle Trost and Fuad Al-Rijla into turn 1, both on the limit. And the 119 can't find any inroads there. So a few battles here and there on track. McFarlane has now pulled up to the back of Darnell, and he has a pretty large group of cars in front of him to work through. But on his last lap, he was, let's see, who's at the front of this group? It looks like Rakowski, maybe? And there she is. Rakowski on that last lap at 11.63. McFarlane did a 10.97. Only the top 6 cars are doing lap times like that. The 12 is still right on the back bumper of the leader, and Michael Polasek is closing in. He was 3/10 faster than McKenzie last time around. Oh, Raymond 2 and Zachary Bowman. Did they come together in the turn? They may have, because Raymond 2 is going to go ahead and let Bowman rejoin ahead of him. That allows the other Zach, Liebold, to jump both of them, and he's into 8th place. We go back to the battle for the lead. It's this and that tight battle amongst the Deltas for those podium spots that we're keeping an eye on. If McKenzie gets a good run out of this corner, we go back to the Delta field. He's still got a decent amount of time that he's got to hold on. And he chooses to go to the inside of the track, back to the outside of the track. And Mayer going very deep on the brakes there, almost contact with the leader. But we continue on, and that gives McKenzie a little breathing room as they enter the tighter portion of the track. Now, here's an interesting little thing that's happened. Raymond 2 and Zachary Bowman have come back to Jajay. Now, I don't know if they're going to slow him down. It looks like the gap's big enough, but it's something for the Delta leader to consider, or something that he has to keep in mind as these 2 cars in front of him. And they are again looking a little slow into turn 1 as Dejay closes up to them even more. And this will only help John Daniels, who's currently 2 seconds off the Delta leader, and Brian Saab getting passed by his teammate Dave Thomas. They perform the switch, and Thomas is now onto this Delta podium, huge for his championship. And now you have Bowman and 2 going at it again, and now Raymond 2 is going to sneak by here, a place you typically don't do that, and JB Dejay says, I am leading the Delta class. I cannot sit and wait around. He's going to put a car in between him and John Daniels. He succeeded in doing so, and Daniels trimmed that lead in half in the meantime. So a 1 second gap to Dejay, 6 minutes to go here at Oran Park. The race for the overall lead is just as up for grabs, as McKenzie currently leads Mayer and Polasek in a very tight train through the windier portions of the track. We'll stay tuned here to make sure nothing goes on into turn 1. And there is McKenzie. Polasek is now on the back of these 2. Does he start to put some pressure on Mayer and help McKenzie out? Or does he let Mayer go for the attack and hope for the best. He'll be looking for any kind of mistake. What he's probably looking for is Mayer going for an attack, and he's slowed up by a defense, and then trying to jump into P2. Really all you can do when you're on tracks like this. Oh, these trees actually have three-dimensional sprites. They've got a sprite in both directions. Next thing you know, they'll be doing the orthogonals. So McKenzie stays in the lead through turn number 1. John Daniels now is stuck behind Zachary Bowman, and the question is Bowman quick enough to stay with DeJay, or does he have damage? Does Bowman have damage? Let's see if he's driving straight. He's not driving straight, so that is not just cosmetic damage to the 654. And he's having to go on the defense here, and this may end up helping out DeJay quite a bit. Daniels is going to lose that ground that he made up on the leader. He was 1 second away. Now it's 1.8 seconds. And this is exactly what the 621 of DeJay wants to be seeing. So here we are again with McKenzie off that final corner. Only a few laps left, and Lewis Gilbert is off track. That's at turn 1. And there goes, I believe that is Noah. And Gilbert will rejoin in 14th in class. This is Evan Clavijo, who's up 20 spots so far in this race, doing everything he can to keep Tyler Long behind him. Now remember, the invert is 13 cars. Right now, your pole sitter for the next race is the car ahead of these two drivers, Dave Thomas. So it behooves Clavijo and Long to not scrap and see if they can get back to Thomas, but it seems like a tall ask to push him out of that invert spot now. And Clavijo stays ahead of Long for the moment. Less than 3 minutes to go, and Mayer's not giving this one up. Into the final corner. The 04 is not going to be able to put a foot wrong here, or else he will be right in the clutches of Mayer, and he's really trying to break the slipstream now. Lewis Gilbert, lapped car, up ahead. I'm pretty sure they will end up bumping into him before the end of this race. Let's see if he has any effect on this one. McKenzie looked like he was staying on a defensive line there. Mayer is close enough to maybe challenge him into the next corner. Does he go defensive here? He stays on the racing line. Now, meanwhile, Daniels is still working the back of Bowman, and Bowman's having to do the same thing as McKenzie, getting whatever slipstream he can in the run down to turn number 1. Going back to the outside. And on the brakes, he's going to keep Bowman pinned to the inside here. Oh, but he just can't get back to the apex for an over-under. And he'll stay where he is. It will be 2 laps to go this time by for Logan McKenzie. Looking for that first win of the season, but he has Matthew Mayer, the closest he's been the entire race. Gilbert gets out of the way. It'll be a straight fight between the top 3. Here we go, down to turn 1. McKenzie with Mayer and Polsek in close pursuit. And under the braking, no drama. They stay as they were. On the exit of the corner, does Mayer have a chance? He's no closer than he was in the last lap. And McKenzie does not move off his line. Behind this all, Bertolucci's been caught by Schink. And this could end up being an interesting scrap for 4th place before the end of this one. And Bowman is still dealing with John Daniels on the front straight. Where does he go this time? To the outside. Into turn 1, into turn 2, and he's fully alongside the 654. Daniels showing everything he's got. And now he's on the inside line. I think this is exactly what you want to see. Bowman trying to close the door. They come as close as you can get without touching. And now I think Daniels doesn't have the momentum to stay in there, but he keeps it in there. What a drive from the 0-2. What a defense for the 6-5-4. A little touch as they come up to the bridge. And now I think Daniels has this one. He's going to finally eke ahead of the 6-5-4. And now on this final lap, Logan McKenzie trying to hold on to the lead. Mayer and Polasek not close enough to do anything. And now something's happened here. Thomas has slipped behind. With Daniels and Bowman fighting. Thomas has caught up to those two. Clavijo and Long are right behind. Remember, Thomas is in that invert spot, so let's keep a very close eye on what happens to this group. McKenzie up through the bridge. So far, so good. Clavijo coming along. No, he's been passed by Tyler Long out of the last corner. So Long moves into 14th now. And on the brakes, McKenzie only has one more turn to go, and Polasek has done there. He got by him right through the entire bit of the track. And now it's going to be McKenzie out of the final corner. He is going to bring home his first victory of ATC15. Pennzoil Super Touring. Logan McKenzie across the line. They win their first race of the season. Polasek P2 and Matthew Mayer P3. Bertolucci held on to P4 in the end. JB DeJay. For him, it looks like it's going to be an easy Delta victory. We look back at his rivals. Tyler Long's right on the back of Dave Thomas. Does he go for a move here? Thomas is slow. Does he have a slowdown? Long moves into the invert spots. DeJay out of the final corner. It will be JB DeJay across the line to win at Oran Park. John Daniels P2 in the Delta class, and Tyler Long steals P3, and he's on pole for the second race of the day. I don't know what happened to Thomas there at the end, but he really dropped off. Was he out of fuel? Did he not have enough fuel? Where did he finish? I am scoring him as he keeps getting passed. I think he has a black flag, and we're seeing the penalty take effect. He finishes 25th overall behind Jared Dixon and Marcel Thomas. What an insane first race of the day. I think it's incredibly fitting that JB DeJay, I think the only Delta driver here today, who was at the last, who attended the last time this series went to Oran Park, he comes away with the win today. What a drive from him. We will be back for the second race here at Oran Park. Stay tuned. Well, if the first race was any indication, we're in for a wild ride here at Oran Park. Tyler Long ends up on the inverted pole with John Daniels and JB DeJay right there with him. The top three finishers from the Delta class in the last race are in the top four to start this race. You have Zachary Bowman up there in P2. You have Raymond 2, Zachary Liebold, Damon Mitchell, Micah Hendricks, Francois Schenck, Ian Bertolucci, Matthew Mayer, Michael Polasek, and then Logan McKenzie rounding out the invert. P14 is where you have to go to find the next Delta driver outside the top three, Evan Clavijo. We are about ready to go. The second race of the day here at Oran Park. Tyler J. Long will lead us away. And we are a go. Long gets a good start, and he will lead us away here at Oran Park. And the rest of the field files out behind him, and this is going to be something. Into turn one they go. Bowman leading the rest of this field as Long gets a little bit of a gap. And everyone trying to make their way through the first corner, doing their best. Into turn two we go. Everyone, they're running a bit slow here, but I think they're just trying to figure things out. And look at this gaggle of cars. Do you fight for position, or do you just make sure that you survive? And oh, we have some trouble up front, and that is Damon Mitchell being spun with Francois Schenck off the side of the track, and that causes everyone to go left, right, and center to avoid. McKenzie gets ahead of Polasek, who also gets done by Clavijo, and now Bertolucci trying to go around Polasek as well. The championship leader under pressure, but he will fend it off. And behind you have Suada Rishla and Brian Saab. Oh, Clavijo went wide. And there's just too much going on screen, so we're going to show you it all at once. The entire field there, funneling into the last corner, and Clavijo leads Trost and Alrijla and Saab, all those cars heading down to turn 1, but also into turn 1. Tyler Long, who still leads the field, Raymond 2 jumps into second place, and he's in a good position in this one. Now heading into turn 1. We have a car going wide, and that's Trost. He's into the wall. He just went a little too deep in the braking zone, and that may be his day done. Alrijla staying ahead of Saab and Thomas back here. And Tyler Long, the Delta driver, leads this race. Oh, and Saab's going to get done by Gilbert here as Rick Meyer, and that is Francois Schink. Oh, that's Schink. He survived, and he's trying to make his way through the rest of the field. Oh, he goes a bit wide there, though, opening the door for Connor Acatella and Ant Meeperson in his second start now, along with Jared Dixon. Look at the two first-time starters. They're scrapping with the series vets. Matthew Zepka, Mark Darnell right beside them, Acatella and Schink in front of them. And Meeperson going for the move on Zepka, and Zepka into the wall, and Meeperson will pull ahead. Polasek going around John Daniels into turn 1, and Bertolucci is going to follow suit. Up ahead, Hendricks, Leibold scrapping, and they're scrapping right in front of McKenzie and Mayer. Mayer going around McKenzie here. I think he was behind McKenzie before. And Bertolucci still trying to get around the 0-2. Not making it as easy for the 51 as he did for the 1. But Bertolucci will get the outside here, and I think he's going to sweep around and get that done. Still a lot of non-stop action here. There's Micah Hendricks running just behind your Delta P2. DeJay still running 4th overall, but your Delta leader, your overall leader, Tyler Long. This is his first season in the Alpha Touring Challenge, and he has been doing a phenomenal job week in and week out. He has been improving, and right now leading this race. Raymond 2 comes right up to the back of him, but he manages to keep him off the back. And Tyler Long also currently well in the lead of the rookie of the season race. Kyle Trost is P2 in that competition right now. So here's Mayer, Leibold, McKenzie, and now Polasek is right back on the tail end of this group. Your third place Delta runner is John Daniels, who, remember, he started in the top 4 with the rest of the other two Delta podium finishers from the first race. But he has slipped all the way back to 11th, and now it's going to be 12th as McFarlane puts it up the inside, and the 0-2 loses another spot there. He's into 12th. Oh, and behind, it's just more cars pushing. Dave Thomas is currently stuck in 7th in the Delta class. Looking back to the battle for the lead, Tyler Long has done an excellent job of holding this position so far. We are 5 minutes into a 25-minute race, and I'm going to just throw some stats at you, or maybe one stat. No Delta driver has ever won an overall race while in the Delta class, right? Former Delta drivers have won. Connor Acatella and Mike DeAlmeida. Lewis Gilbert is off track at turn 1. Keeps it out of the wall for the most part. He'll be able to rejoin safely ahead of Jared Dixon. Dixon currently trying to keep Zepka and the aforementioned DeAlmeida from getting around him. He's got a huge gaggle of cars behind him. You can tell just by looking at the interval on the leaderboard. And the wide shot, it helps as well. But yeah, Connor Acatella and Mike DeAlmeida are the only former Delta drivers to win a race, if my memory serves me correct. And now, drivers keep pushing it wide there on that left-hander before the final corner. Let's jump back up to the front because Mayer's now gone around DeJay and Liebold, and he's going to be working on Hendricks soon. Into turn 1, no drama there. So we look to Zepka and the Amida off the final corner. So yeah, the Amida, Acatella, they won races after they left the Delta class. And then Spencer Clark, he finished P2 in a race in the Delta class. And I'm forgetting someone else who finished P3. And there's a massive crash as Mitchell Richtmeyer has gone off at turn 2, and he's out of the race. And McKenzie is working around the outside of JB DeJay, and Polasek will follow him. Liebold, McKenzie, and Polasek all going through on that lap. Free to continue chasing after Mayer. One of them is trying to be the lucky dog to win this race. And out of the 3 of them, I think you gotta consider a 4th driver, Raymond 2. If he can get around Tyler Long, overtaking's difficult here, and there's still a huge gap between him and Mayer, McKenzie, and Polasek. Now down to turn 1. Will the Delta driver have to put on a defense? And under the brakes, 2 has a moment here. We can get alongside the leader. The 767 was a little slow on the exit of the corner, but all that's done actually is allowed everyone to catch back up. And this is just gonna hurt Raymond 2's chances of winning this race because those faster drivers, supposedly faster drivers, are going to be catching up as Zachary Liebold goes wide in turn 3. McKenzie and Polasek and Bertolucci as well, they're all going to go around him. He stays ahead of JB DeJay though. And then when it comes to the other Delta drivers, there is Dave Thomas still stuck behind the 2 SYARTG cars there. And then you have the Jared Dixon train still chugging along with Chris McDonald now right up the back of the 43. Oh, and more cars going wide at that corner. Let's jump back up front because Tyler Long under some pressure, but Hendricks is also under some pressure. Will Matthew Mayer go for something here? He looks to the left. And going to the right as Hendricks goes defensive, and Long has to go defensive as well. That allows Bowman to pull up alongside Raymond 2. The 2 can't do anything there. And it looked like Acatella and Saab are battling for a moment there, but it looks like Saab stays ahead. And then, the Jared Dixon train has come to a stop. McDonald, Zepka, and Murray have all gone through. Corey Lobner going wide. I think that was less him losing control and more maybe being caught out by the braking of those in front. Now JB DeJay, the 2nd place Delta driver. He's almost been shuffled back to where John Daniels is, because there is Daniels right there. And DeJay is going to be in 11th once McFarlane gets his way around him. Our Delta leader, Tyler Long, he is still leading this overall race. We have 15 minutes to go here at Oran Park. And McFarlane will get the job done on DeJay. So into turn 2, Long keeps it on that apex. He's leading a lot of laps. I don't even know what is the most amount of laps a Delta driver has ever led in a race. But the laps are so short here that Long may come kind of close to that record. The Mayor's still looking for a way around Hendricks, and the reason being is because he's got McKenzie and Polasek all bottled up behind him. And if Hendricks goes defensive for a move, it could easily open the door for the others. The best thing for the 73 in this situation is going to be him finding a way around Zachary Bowman. And onto the front stretch they come, and Mayer is very, very close. He looks left. It's going to be a move from the 12. Into turn 1, on the brakes. What can he do? A little bit of contact, a lot of contact. into Bowman. Oh, no. Bowman gets hooked by Hendricks. Into the wall. McKenzie has to avoid it. Out of the race. It's a 6.54. Polasek goes around. McKenzie, Hendricks off of that. Mayer goes through all of them. Bertolucci gets by McKenzie. Hendricks into the back of the one here. But that was a messy incident. And in the end, it is Bowman who is the big loser. And Tyler Long is still your leader, but now Matthew Mayer lurks in the background unimpeded. Oh, it's a big slide. Two actually had to get on the brakes there. You think maybe he could have had a chance to go around Long off that mistake, but he doesn't press the issue. He may have been too close, actually. Let's see, out of the final corner now. It's less than a 2/10 gap, and he's going to have a nice opportunity here. Let's go on board. Oh, is it a lunge? Long leaves the door open, and Raymond 2 will take the lead of the race. So I think we are not going to be seeing a Delta driver win today, though Long, I don't think he has a career Delta victory yet. So as long as he avoids getting wrapped up in any kind of carnage as he slips, if he continues to slip down the order, that is. I mean, he kept 2 behind for quite a while. Let's go back here. Francois Schink and Fuad Al-Rijla battling ahead of Dave Thomas, as this is going to finally allow Thomas a nose in on Al-Rijla coming through the sweeper. The Chase Sim Racing car is going to lunge on the SRG driver and just get that one done. Now Tyler Long under pressure from Matthew Mayer, who's going to swing on by out of the final corner, and I think Polasek's going to follow suit. Now behind that group of Hendricks and Bertolucci and McKenzie, they're a bit further back, so Long may be able to tuck in here. Staying alongside the one. I mean, he's not just giving up with these Alpha drivers, he's staying in it, and really that is, if you're a Delta driver and you get inverted in these positions, that is what you should do, because it gets you used to scrapping with the big boys. It gets you used to their kind of racecraft. You start to see where they may be better than you in these kinds of fights. You learn where they're faster than you, how they set up overtakes. Speaking of setting up an overtake, McKenzie very close to Bertolucci. He's going to send it up the inside here. Not a typical overtaking zone. They come to blows, and Bertolucci is going to stay ahead of the 04 for now. But there's an over-under coming, and McKenzie is not going to let this one go as they come to the final corner, and Hendricks is going to do the same thing. 2 sins, 1 corner. McKenzie's didn't work, Hendricks did. He's going to go around Long, and now I think Bertolucci has to pull this off immediately, or else McKenzie is going to take advantage. Into turn 1 they go, and Bertolucci immediately looks for it, and McKenzie, oh no, behind them, Zachary Liebold, spun off by Dan McFarlane. We were busy looking at that battle, and there's carnage. And now McKenzie finishes Long off into that corner, but that was McFarlane and Liebold coming together. And, oh, there's Hendricks. Thought we had lost him for a second. So Raymond 2. He has never won a race in his ATC career. He did pick up another career podium earlier this season at Road America, and that was the closest he's ever come to winning a race in his career, I think. But today he sits in a golden spot. He has he has 4 career podiums, 21 career top 5s, never stood on the top step in the Alpha Touring Challenge. Raymond 2, he has 100 and I think this is his 125th career start, which is 13th all time. Series vet, looking for that first victory. He's got 2 of the fastest drivers in the series staring him down, trying to keep him from bagging it. Meeperson and Almeida into turn 1, and look at this. I mean, some of these new drivers, they're scrappy. Meeperson is showing some great pace in the 982, and I'm not sure. Jared Dixon still holding on to 12th in the Delta class. He conducted that at train for a long time. Here's Mitchell and Darnell having a scrap. Into turn 3 they go. There's a lot of close fights on track right now as Clark keeps the nose in here. Former Delta champion is maybe going to stay ahead of Mitchell here. Very close. And meanwhile, we have 2x2 into the final corner. Clavijo, Lynn, Leibold, Schink. And they've sorted themselves out of the final corner, I think. But that was extremely close stuff. Mitchell actually stayed ahead of Clark in the end in that fight. And Leibold's going to have to go defensive here to keep the 18 behind him. And he only ended up back in 12th off that incident with McFarlane. As here we go, McKenzie and Bertolucci coming to blows again, and McKenzie is in a very tough position, being on the outside line here. Over the bridge, and right here they come to blows again. Bertolucci sticking to the inside, and McKenzie, again they touch. They both push wide. Bertolucci cut a lot of track there. Let's keep an eye on this. McKenzie flashing him now. And into the final corner they go, and I think Bertolucci is letting him go. I think he may have picked up a slowdown from just going a little wide through that corner, and I wonder if McFarlane is going to be able to pass him as well. And I think he will. So a small mistake from Bertolucci in the end. That was a big help to Hendricks, so I don't think he's going to get caught by that group now. And, oh, Clavijo, where is he? Where is this? He's gone off to the left of the final corner, and he rejoins on the front stretch. That is certainly a trip that he has taken. And now Francois Schink is ahead of Zachary Leibold. And this group of cars, that is a nice, 6, 7 cars all the way back to Connor Acatella from 11th to 17th position. Just constant scrapping. We have 6 minutes to go, and the battle for the lead hasn't really kicked off yet. Raymond 2 has been keeping these championship contenders at bay. As long as you get a good exit out of the final corner, there's really nothing those drivers behind you can do unless you make a big mistake somewhere else on the track. We've seen that happen today. When you're in the lead of the race, though, it's maximum focus on staying in that spot. Now, Tyler Long, he has finally been shuffled all the way behind the Alpha drivers. And in the end, his advantage isn't that big. He's only has a 1.9 second gap on DeJay at the moment. So still a very winnable race by DeJay. Maybe even Daniels, but Daniels would have to go through 2 cars. DeJay has the luxury of only having 1 in front of him. But on that last lap, Long was actually almost 3/10 faster than DeJay. There go Hendricks and McKenzie and McFarlane. And if they all start fighting, Long could end up wrapped back up in that, but I think that would require a lot of fighting to happen. They seem a bit spread out. Now coming to this final corner, Raymond 2's lead is very slim. But with a 3/10 gap out of the final corner, that's typically defensible. Now that Veloster is going to be slightly better in a straight line. And Mayer does have a little peek. Nothing that he can really do. And out of turn 2, they continue on. And he's just trying to get into 2's head. He has to make him go defensive there. That opens the door for Polsek, and they come together. And Mayer is kicked wide. Polsek, he touched Mayer there at the apex of the corner, looking for space. And I'm not sure if Mayer came down or Polsek went up, But what that does is it gives Raymond 2, with 4 minutes to go in this race, a 1.1 second gap. The breakfast for dinner driver still leads the race, looking for that first win. The rest of the breakfast for dinner team, John Lazon, race winner. You have formerly James Carr, race winner. You have Fleet Smith, though he hasn't been active this season. He picked up a race win. It's time for Raymond 2. He is due, and he's got a 1.2 second advantage right now. I keep hearing the occasional wall strike, and Calvillo went wide at the chicane. And that's going to let McDonald and maybe De Almeida through, but De Almeida caught the inside of that last corner. And I think that may have scrubbed off the momentum he had. And he will not be able to go for a move here. So let's go on board with Matthew Mayer as he attempts to chase down the 96. 3 minutes to go. He took 2/10 back out of Raymond 2's lead the last time around. And this time around, he hasn't really taken anything out of him. I wonder if there's a spot on the track, a specific spot on the track where Mayer's a lot faster. He lost time to 2 in the back half of the track there. That time around, Mayer was 3/10 faster over the course of the whole lap. And there, gaining a lot of time on Raymond 2 in the braking zone. That's 2/10 gone, and he will be back at the rear bumper of our race leader by the time it's over. Really have no idea how this one is going to play out, because it's so difficult to overtake here. And you really, if it's not a mistake from the person ahead, you're going to need a pretty big pace advantage to find a way around. The rest of the battles on the track have calmed, so we will stay tuned right here. These laps take 1 minute and 10 seconds to get done. We're coming to the finish line, and I'm not sure if they've actually started waving the white flag. Let's go on board with Tyler Long. And we are getting the white flag just barely inside the time limit. So for Raymond 2, that's exactly what he wants to see. He only has to survive one more lap around Oran Park to pick up his first career victory in the Alpha Touring Challenge. Matthew Mayer looking for his second victory on the season. For him, if he were to pick up this victory, that would be... oh, I don't even know. Let's stay tuned to this. 2's having to go defensive. Mayer looks to the right, but through the bridge section. Sweeping through now, and he's a bit wide. Mayer will have an opening. They come together. The SRJ driver gets on the right side. He passes Raymond 2 for the lead. With just 3 turns to go at Oran Park, Raymond 2 is going to be denied his first career victory. It will instead be Matthew Mayer's fourth. Out of the final corner and across the line, it's the 12 who wins at Oran Park. Raymond 2 is P2. And Michael Polasek P3. But on the other end of the spectrum, elation for Tyler Long. He wins his first career Delta race, bringing home the victory, showing better pace than DeJay at the end there. A wonderful drive from him, and he held on to the actual lead of this race, the overall lead for so long. Really, really well done by the 676. John Daniels brings home, I'm not sure. I think the leaderboard's freaking out a little bit here. So we'll get you the final results here in a moment. But there's quite a bit of shuffling going on there. I do believe John Daniels finished P3. So that is your Delta podium. But here, let's go ahead and pull up these results because the timing boards are having a tizzy. So the first race of the day, won by Logan McKenzie from pole. It was a close race. 4/10 was the final margin. Matthew Mayer brings home the podium, P3. Bertolucci, Schenk, Hendricks, Mitchell, Liebold, 2. They all finish ahead of eventual Delta race winner, J.B. DeJay. 10th place for him. John Daniels not that far off him, sitting there in 11th position, and then Zachary Bowman is 12th, separating those two from the rest of the Delta class. Long, Clavijo, Saab, Trost, Alrijla, Lynn, McFarlane, Rickmeyer, Acatella, Darnell, Jared Dixon in his first start, bagging a 23rd. Meeperson down there in 29th. Both having excellent starts, and Meeperson has a flag that the overlay is unaware of, so that is impressive there. Mike Almeida ended up 30th in that race. A couple of those Alpha drivers not having a good first race. On to the second race, though. Matthew Mayer, he strikes right at the heart of Raymond 2 and shatters it. With just 3 turns to go, he wins at Oran Park. Raymond 2 second, Michael Polasek is third, and that is the first time this season that Michael Polasek has gone 2 races without winning. Absolutely crazy. Micah Hendricks fourth, McKenzie ends up 5th in the end, and then McFarlane and Bertolucci. Tyler Long with his first career Delta victory ahead of J.B. DeJay and John Daniels, and DeJay, I think, has firmly entered the championship battle. And Daniels is now firmly your championship leader. So things changing in the Delta class. Will Thomas be able to come back at these guys after a small string of poor performances? And he didn't even have a bad performance today. I mean, he finished 13th in this second race here. But it was the first race. I think, let's verify that he got that black flag. Let's look back. Yes, he did finish 25th behind the other Thomas, Marcel Thomas. So that is pretty devastating for him. Otherwise, he would have had a lot more points. That about does it from here at Oran Park. It has been incredibly exciting and it looked like some stressful racing down there. But it's time to say goodbye to Oran Park and head to our next stop in Australia. Sandown is next week, and we hope to see you there. Thank you for watching week in and week out, and have a good night.